Eat more fats to lose more weight? Seems counterintuitive, right? You think that in order to lose more weight, you'd actually have to eat less fats. But the reality is, some fats are super important and they're the key to losing those last few kilos. I've seen a lot of people who've been struggling to lose weight, but when they once understand what to eat, when to eat, and how to eat it, they lose those kilos and are just super happy. So I'll be taking you through the benefits of fats, what the best fats are, and how to eat them. Let's dive right in. The first reason why fats are important is that they help with hormonal regulation. So, fats help with balancing out hormones like leptin and ghrelin. So, leptin is to do with satiety, meaning how full you feel, and ghrelin is how hungry you feel. That's why you have GLP-1s like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, which look to suppress your appetite. So, in a way, they sort of work like leptin and ghrelin, but that's a whole other topic that if you want to know more about, leave a comment below and I'll make a video on that. From a kilojoule point of view as well, fats help keep you fuller for longer compared to carbs. So 1 gram of carbs is around 17 kilojoules of energy, whereas 1 gram of fats is around 37 kilojoules. And so by eating more healthy fats, you're actually less likely to crave more food and you feel fuller for longer. Fats also help with blood sugar regulation. So unlike carbs, which basically tell the body to spike insulin and store fats, fats don't cause an insulin spike, meaning they're more likely to burn more fat reserves rather than storing extra fat. This is also why you see some people with type 2 diabetes struggle with weight loss because their body produces excess insulin, which means that they can't burn fat as effectively as people with lower levels of insulin. Fats provide a metabolic boost known as ketosis. So, when the body's carb levels are low, it burns through its fat reserves known as ketosis. This is also where the ketogenic diet, or keto diet for short, has originated from. Now, whether you should follow that diet or not is a whole other topic. And if you want to know more about the diet, let me know in the comments below. I'll discuss that in more detail. The basic idea is that eating more healthy fats and eating less processed carbs is better for fat oxidation. And lastly, but definitely not the least important, is that fats are crucial to the absorption of certain vitamins and minerals. So vitamins such as A, E, D, and K require fats in order to be absorbed into the body. So a high-level overview of fat-soluble vitamins is that fat molecules bind onto vitamin molecules, and as a result, they're absorbed into the body. So you have vitamins such as A, which is key for skin, vision, and cell growth. D is for calcium. E protects cells from oxidative damage, and K prevents blood clotting. So these are all super important, and fat is key to metabolizing these. Now onto the juicy stuff. What fats are actually good for you? You have unsaturated fats, which include MUFAs and PUFAs, and they sound cute because they're good for you. So unsaturated fats help with lowering inflammation, lowering LDL cholesterol, which is bad cholesterol, improve cognition, improve heart health, and improve metabolism, which is also why this is super important when it comes to weight loss. So MUFAs stand for monounsaturated fatty acids. They include things like olive oil, almonds, and other similar fats. And PUFAs, yes, you guessed right, stand for polyunsaturated fatty acids. So these include foods like fatty fish, think mackerel, salmon, things like that, or you have nuts like walnuts. They also include the omega fatty acid chains, so like omega 6 and omega 3, which are also really good for you. Moving on to saturated fats. A rule of thumb is that these fats are usually solid at room temperature, and for a long time these were thought to be bad for you as they were linked to increases in LDL cholesterol, which is bad cholesterol, and increases in heart disease. However, studies do show that when consumed in moderation, and since not all fats or foods are created equally, fats from whole food sources aren't that bad for you. Sources like butter, cheese, or coconut oil are seen to improve metabolism in individuals that are healthy and do not have any cholesterol problems. And ultimately, saturated fats are still better than trans fats, which are the absolute no-no fats. In the world of nutrition, our tagline is basically every food group in moderation. When it comes to trans fats, this is absolutely not it. This is probably the one food group that should not be in anyone's diet. Trans fats are basically artificial fats. So they're created by adding liquid oils to hydrogen to create a solid. And this is usually done because it improves the shelf life of products. So you see this quite commonly in things like biscuits or lots of packaged and processed foods in grocery stores. These fats are commonly linked to things like inflammation or heart disease, so this type of fat is definitely one to avoid. Alrighty, the part that you've been waiting for. Since we've covered the why, let's now look at protocols. So what you should eat and when you should eat to maximize fat loss. The first protocol is timing. So timing is super important when looking to lose weight. In the morning, you're thinking of including healthy fat, which will help reduce hunger, stabilize blood sugar levels, and keep you fuller for longer. So think avocados. And then for dinner, please do not go to bed eating just a plain salad, because you need healthy fats to ensure that as you sleep, you still burn fat. So include like maybe avocados, walnuts, add in some olive oil, maybe some fatty fish like salmon. So that way, even as you sleep, your body is still working for you. Another thing that's really, really important is before you work out, do not consume any fats. I repeat, no fats. This is a time you should be including carbs, because fats actually hinder your performance, help you feel, not help you feel, they will make you feel kind of like dragged down, a bit heavy and not really in your peak performance. So it's always best before working out to avoid fats completely, stick to your carbs, maybe a banana, things like that. The next protocol is pairing healthy fats with other macros. So you would want to pair healthy fats with things like lean protein, think chicken, tofu, or fish. This ensures that you feel full as well as improving your muscle mass. So muscle mass and fat loss work hand in hand. They're basically a perfect power couple. The reason being is that muscle mass helps you burn weight because your muscles require more energy, more protein, more fats, more carbs to metabolize. And so the more muscle mass you have, the more of your body's reserves muscles will metabolize and use in order to keep you running. So that way, people that typically have a higher muscle mass end up burning through more calories, more fats, things like that. And so that's why muscle mass is super important to losing weight. Healthy fats should also be paired with fiber. So when you think fiber, think vegetables. This is because they help with digestion and stabilizing blood sugar levels. So when blood sugar levels are stable, you're less likely to crave more food, which helps with weight management. And especially when you're consuming more fats, fiber is really important because sometimes fats can cause digestive upset. And so when you consume fiber, it helps regulate that and keep your digestive ecosystem happy. Protocol 3 is rotate your fats. Now, this may seem like common sense and you're going, obviously, I'm not going to eat the same thing every day. But believe it or not, a lot of people tend to eat the same thing, or rather mentally, they prepare for the same thing every single day. So my mother is a great example of this. She's great at preparing food, but also she believes that when you see a bunch of nuts, you have to eat all of them. And so this I would definitely not suggest, because monotony is one of the main problems when it comes to eating healthy food. And so the best thing would be is to have a little roster. So maybe Mondays are walnuts and pistachios days. Tuesdays you're going to eat maybe tuna and some almonds, something like that, to just break it up. So that way you're not eating the same thing every day, and you're able to balance those fats. And I feel like a lot of people as well tend to cave into their cravings when it comes to snack time. So more like breakfast is fine, lunch is fine, and then it hits at 2, 3 p.m. After lunch slump. And that's when your brain goes, feeling like some chocolate here, maybe some fries. But when you have these good healthy fats on rotation, your brain sort of gets trained to eat, this is going to be almond day, that's going to be walnut day. And so you subconsciously start getting into that habit and actually being like, oh, I crave almonds this day, I crave tuna this day, whatever it may be. And so making sure you rotate your fat is a super important point. That brings us to the end of this video. Healthy fats are your friends. They can help in weight loss. And the countless number of people I've seen that, stick with that rice, broccoli, chicken dynamic and lose weight initially and just plateaus. And that plateau is usually when things start going downhill because they lose motivation or whatnot. And truth be told, fats add flavor. And so like when you're cooking, adding some more olive oil for a salad, more olive oil or avocado, things like that. Because when you eat a satisfying meal, you're less likely to crave later on. And so fats add flavor and fullness. So it's a win-win, really. This is one of the best ways to lose weight, in my opinion, as you're not sacrificing flavor just for the calories. It's not tasting like cardboard. But of course, it's not one size fits all, so see if it works for you, but always consult a nutritionist or a specialized professional for more detailed plans and before making drastic changes. If you enjoy this video or have any questions or what you want to see next, let me know in the comments below, and make sure to share with your family and friends, as they too should hear these little tips and tricks. Wishing you a happy digestive systems until the next one.